Hey, this is Pastor Curry, pastor of the Ezion Fair Baptist Church, Wilmington's most exciting church, the church that loves you and ain't a thing you can do about it. It's time for us to get ready for a cup of coffee with Dr. Curry, and we have an amazing show for today. Today we are going to interview a few of our members who have their own businesses. Yes, they are entrepreneurs. We have a plethora of those who own their own businesses, and what we want to do is just talk to just a few of them so that you get an opportunity to see and maybe even patronize the businesses that they own. So let's get after it. And we're back. I'm here today with Sister Renee, one of our precious members of Ezion Fair. And she says that she's very, very nervous, but she don't need to be nervous because she's just having a cup of coffee with her pastor. And even though she doesn't have any coffee, we use it as a joke, but we want to make sure that she get an opportunity to be seen and heard. She does some very phenomenal things. And I was just sharing with Sister Renee that, you know, she keeps my wife blinged down with all the wonderful things that she does. So Sister Renee, just tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about you and your business.
Well, Pastor, first of all, we've been members of Ezion Fair. We've been actual members since for 2 years now. 2 years. But it feels like we've been here forever. We're enjoying everyone. We love everyone. Everyone treats us very well. And I can't think of any other place I want to be. And as far as my business, and I enjoy sharing with Sister Curry, I do have a business called Koffe Body Treats, and I make natural bath and body products without chemicals and preservatives, fillers, stabilizers. And since embarking on that has led me to doing the rhinestones and the cups and personalization and things like that. So I got too many lanes going on, Pastor. Yeah,
well, I wouldn't say you have too many lanes because you're doing very well in the lanes that you're in. But in addition to that, you also have a janitorial business too, I'm told.
Well, yes, my family, we do. We have a cleaning franchise for a medical center.
Okay.
And it's going well, but I think that my family is tired of it now.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, in the climate that we're in right now, sometimes people get a little leery with, especially with cleaning other places where a lot of people may visit. But Sister Renee, you know, you've been a member of Ezion Fair for 2 years, and it has been a joy. One of the things that I really, really love about you and your husband is that even though he's in a wheelchair, he tries to make his way to church as much as possible.
Yes, he does.
And he even drives, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
It's just amazing. Tell me a little bit about your husband.
Well, my husband has really been blessed. He's almost lost his life maybe 3 or 4 times in the last few years. And he's surviving with COVID very well, which is amazing because he gets sick easily. Right. But he loves coming to church. So when you see him on Sundays, he did everything he could to get here.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when you all first started coming, y'all seemed like y'all couldn't get enough church, and we really appreciated you all.
Oh, we love it.
Yeah.
We're very happy here. Everyone makes you feel comfortable, and I love how the deacons, they always make sure he's okay. Right. They want to assist getting him out of the car and everything. Yeah. They wanted to come and visit him a few times when he was when he was really ill. So you just feel the love here. You feel the love here.
Good. That's the goal. That's the goal. Let's talk a little bit about your business a little bit. What inspired you to go into your own business?
Oh, Pastor, it's a really crazy thing. We were doing rehabbing commercial property in Philly. Okay. And everything that could go wrong was going wrong because people look at my husband's disability as a weakness, and he has a brilliant business mind. Yeah. And we were taking advantage in so many different ways. So I just started researching because he told me I could put a day spa in the building. So I started doing my research and trying to find out different things to do. And I wanted to do what's called private label, purchase someone else's product and put my name on there. But I went a little further. I started learning how to make my own. Okay. And I think it's because God gave me something to do, because when my husband would get some information that was unfavorable, he would get like a no and he's expecting a yes. God told me, like, mind your business, let him do what he do. Let me give you something to do. And that's how Koffe was born, through chaos and confusion with all that was going on.
Wow. And that's the way God blesses us. And I'm glad you stayed focused. And even though you saw some of the hardships that your husband had to go through, you were able to stay focused and do the things that God has called you to do. How are you all doing during this COVID season? Many businesses have closed down, but how are you doing during COVID?
Well, I'm blessed because it's like more so word of mouth. I really don't have a steady audience. If I was working out in the workforce, I would have people always around. So a lot of it's repeat customers. Now that I'm not able to do like the craft fairs and vendor little gatherings and things like that, it's just repeat people coming back to me.
Which means you're good at what you do, because when you got people coming to you as opposed to you have to go to them, that means whatever you're doing is great. I've seen some of their product, and Sunday I was just thinking, I was finished preaching and feeling good, and you stopped your car as you were getting ready to go out and pointing over at me and you had a bag in your hand. And I said, oh, wow, I got some treats. She's going to bless me with something today. And I get back to the study so that I could look at what you were going to bless me with, just to find out it wasn't for me, it was for my wife. And it was some rhinestones.
Yours is coming.
Mine is coming. Well, I don't want all the rhinestones, though, but whatever. But it became wonderful to see that your product is just phenomenal.
Thank you.
And my wife just loves your line. She loves you, and she loves the product that you produce as well.
Thank you.
Tell me, well, don't only tell me, tell the people, how can they communicate with you if they want some of your product? But before you tell us that, tell us some of the products that you produce. Then we'll tell them how they can get in touch with you.
Well, one of the products that I make is what I call a body frosting, which is like a body cream or a lotion, which contains like shea butter, mango butter, cocoa butter, coconut oil, sunflower oil, almond oil, vitamin E. I don't use anything that causes any harm to the skin. It's natural. I do a body polish, a lip butter, various things, soaps, just different things that, in fact, I went a little over my line. I had to start rolling it back because I was getting a little carried away with trying to do too many things. Okay. So
that's what happens with brilliant minds.
Yeah. Thank you, Pastor. But it's fun.
Right.
It's fun. But I'm having more fun doing the t-shirts and the cups and stuff now.
Okay, so you got the body, you got the t-shirts, you got the cups, but yes. Do you have, like you're talking about all the shea butters and things of that nature, is that for men and women or just for women?
Yes, it is. It's for both. It's for both. I've gotten great communication back as far as what the products have done to people's skin, how well that they're able to wear it. We wear it from head to toe, so we use it in our hair down to our feet.
Okay. So a person who's old, like me getting old, if I want to use some of your product, it'll help me stay young?
Oh yes, Pastor.
Okay, but I'm gonna have to put my order in.
It would do wonders, yes.
Well, I'm putting my order in after this show is over so that I can make sure I stay
got you.
Young. So tell us, how do we communicate with Renee?
Well, I do have an online business, and it's under www.koffebodytreats.com. You can email me at info@koffebodytreats.com. My phone number is 302-442-3766. So you can email me, call me, leave me a message, text me. I'll get back to you. However you need to get me, I'm there.
Well, you'll see it on your screen as well. We're going to make sure that they have that because she said it very fast. So just do it one more time as we are making sure that it is on the screen and people get a chance to write it down, because I'm sure they're going to be calling you at this point or emailing you. So give it to us one more time. Okay.
I'm sorry. I do have a bad habit of talking fast. It is Koffe Body Treats, and my online business is www.Koffe, Koffe Body Treats. My phone number is 302-442-3766. You can text me, call me, email me. However, you can just get to me and I'll get back to you.
And she also does things for favors, like when you have a party, you have a wedding. I know we're social distancing right now, but you could be preparing for once we get out of this COVID situation. She does so many things. She's blessed us in different ways, my mother's birthday and many other things. So I hope and trust that you will get an opportunity. Today, Sister Renee, my whole goal was to make sure throughout this whole show, I show America, I show Delaware, I show the saints that we have right at Ezion Fair entrepreneurs who have all kind of services that are available to them. And even though the show won't allow us to bring up everybody, the Lord placed you in my heart, and I was so glad that He did. So is there anything else you would like to share at this time?
No, Pastor. I'm happy. I thank you so much for this opportunity. I enjoy doing things with the members. I have done things for other members here, and I'm just thankful for the opportunity. I'm just blessed. Yes, and you are, and your husband as well. Yes, he is. And I thank God, because you have now the other two persons who come. Are they family? Or is that your
your friends, the other two?
Oh, that's my sister and my brother-in-law.
Your sister and your brother-in-law.
Robin and Stan Hayward.
Robin, that's right. I was trying to remember her name, and I should remember her name. She's in all of our Bible studies. So the whole family has come.
Yes.
And we are very grateful to God to have all of you all with me. And let me say to all the Ezion Fair, as well as those who are out there in cyber world, please try to support Sister Renee. This is a blessing to have a person who loved the Lord, who have a product that can serve you well. Her hands are touching the things that will be blessing your life. So I pray that you will take that opportunity and give her a call. Visit her on the website. Do what you have to do to just show her that you want to support her. And Sister Renee, I thank you so very much. And we'll be right back. And we're back. Once again, we have an amazing brother. He's one of our ushers here, been with me for many years. And Brother Charles, is just a blessing and a privilege to have you with me today. Oftentimes, we never hear your voice. Some people who are going to see this today, they're going to say, I've never heard his voice other than showing them to their seats. Good morning to people. You really don't do much talking.
Right.
Man of action, though.
Yes.
But don't do much talking. Brother Charles, I asked you to come because the Lord put you in my spirit while I was trying to highlight those who own their own businesses here at Ezion Fair. And you have a very good, strong business. So I wanted to highlight you. Tell me, first introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about your business.
Okay. Well, my name is Charles Jones. I prefer to be called CJ.
Okay.
I own the Janet Clean franchise. We've been in business for about 11 years this August.
Oh, wow.
I have about 18 employees.
Okay.
13 are full-time, the rest are all part-time.
Okay. Excellent. And where are you all at?
We do all of Delaware.
All of Delaware.
The whole state of Delaware, yeah.
Okay. Do you do more commercial or do you do home as well?
That's a very good question. We do all commercial.
All commercial.
All commercial.
Okay, so next time when the church is looking for a commercial company, we hope that you will be in the midst. But sometimes it's hard to serve your church because you know they're very picky. But I heard you do a very phenomenal job. Charles, tell me a little bit about life. Your lovely wife is here with you.
Yes.
And we adore her too. She's one of our ushers as well. But tell us a little bit about family life, if you don't mind.
Yeah, she's one of your greeters.
Yes.
And I met her in Delaware when I moved out here. I came to Delaware basically because I was married and became a widow.
Okay.
And I had 3 little girls that I had to raise by myself, and we were living in Philly. So I figured Delaware would be the best spot. I did my research and whatnot, and that's how I got out here in Delaware.
Okay.
So I met my wife online, like Match.com, and we hit it off from the start. And we've been married. Matter of fact, you charged us. Yeah. We got married in the Virgin Islands, but you charged us here, and it'll be, I think, 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 8 years.
Yeah, I remember when you all got married. How long you been at Ezion Fair?
For 11 years.
Okay, I remember when y'all were both coming, and then you decided y'all were going to have a wedding off location, and I said, well, just to make sure it's legitimate, I'm going to make sure we charge it and do what we have to do. But it is such a joy having both of you here, and y'all have been a blessing. And this is something a little interesting. You said that you were raising 2 daughters, and you came to Delaware and felt that Delaware would be the best place. Who met first? You and your wife, or your mother-in-law and father-in-law? Your mother and father-in-law.
What happened was my mother, who was living with me in Delaware, and I had 3 daughters. What happened was me and Kim was going to Vegas or somewhere to get engaged. So I asked my mother, to watch my daughters, and her father, they were like playing cards and whatnot, just friends. And when we came back from getting engaged, they were a couple. So they wound up getting married after us, but it was funny. My wife became my stepsister.
Stepsister, and your mother-in-law became your.
My mother became my father became my father-in-law.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that story because all happened right here at Ezion Fair. This you can't get it any better than that type of reality show where the brother falls in love with a beautiful wife, and then they go away to get engaged just to come back and find out mom and dad is
Hooked
loving
up.
each other too. So that is what a joy and what a privilege it is. And that's what happens when you find true love and when you find real purpose in life. God always open up the door and make other things wonderfully happen. How are your daughters doing now?
They're doing pretty well. They all then relocated back to Philadelphia or in PA. So they're all doing well right now.
Okay, good. Tell me a little bit about, now I heard you share that you have several contracts here in Delaware. You do the cleaning service, but how are things going during this COVID season?
Right now during COVID, we are at our peak. Business is really booming. People constantly want cleaners in there to sanitize and disinfect. So our business is really plateauing right now.
Oh, excellent. How, Brother Charles, CJ, as you said you like to be called, how did you find Ezion Fair?
I looked, when we came here, we come from a Pentecostal church.
Oh, okay.
So when I came here, I started visiting churches and whatnot. And I went to the hair store with one of my daughters, and I was speaking to one of the young ladies here, and I said, you know what, you got a good spirit on you. What church does she go to? And she said, Ezion Fair. And I said, who's your pastor? And she gave me your name and said, I can look you up online. So, and this was Jasmine.
Oh, Jasmine Jones.
Jasmine Jones.
Oh.
And I looked you up online, and I was like, I got to go see that brother preach. Because I felt the spirit in you. And even though it's a Baptist church, I felt the Pentecostal in you. And I was like, I got to see it. And I came here 2 Sundays with the daughters, and we journeyed on the 3rd Sunday.
I remember. You know, you shared that you're from Philadelphia, and we both are from Philadelphia together. When your mom transitioned, and I went to Philadelphia with you to do her service, you had it at Bethel. Is that the church you all belong to, or
No.
Oh, it's not the church you?
No, we belong to a Mount Airy Church of God in Christ.
Oh, Arnie Morris. Okay, so you know, it's really interesting because I had Dr. Hines on a couple of weeks ago, and Dr. Hines is formerly a member of Kojic, and I am too. And so when people say this is a Baptist church, and then they realize that he was Kojic, that's where that connection always come in at. But that's great to see that. But the real connection is Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that so much. So your daughters are doing well, you're doing well, the business is booming.
Yes.
Share with the people, if you don't mind, how they can communicate with you if they know of their business or they want to utilize your services. How can they connect with you?
Sure. You can reach me at 302-834-6685, or you can email me at JBA, that's John Boy Adam, Enterprises 70@ymail.com.
All right, that's great. So now that we have all of the preliminaries out of the way, and we know a little bit about the business, and the business is doing very well, are there any other things that you all are planning to do as a family or as a business? Are you planning to do anything else?
Business, we just stay driving, looking for more business. Just trying to be the best that we can be. As far as family, the COVID has really gotten us tied down. We normally go traveling around Christmas time, but we're staying local right now, and just taking one day at a time and loving life.
Great. Last question that I'm really interested in is, I noticed that when you came here to Ezion Fair, you sat over, I remember the side you sit on right behind the deacons and the deaconess, and you and your wife have been very faithful. Your wife serves as a greeter. You serve as an usher. What made you want to be an usher?
I just wanted to serve, and my background before I got into cleaning was hospitality. I used to run restaurants. So I just wanted to serve. I wanted to be somewhere where I can serve the people. Yeah,
and has anyone talked to you about moving to that level of a deacon?
Yes.
And what happened?
Several brothers have asked me, but I still have some things that I need to fight within myself.
Okay. And I think that I put you on the spot on purpose because I want to make sure that you know that the pastor too have looked at you in that zone, but I respect people who understand where they are and not try to prostitute the house of God. But you have been a very faithful, strong brother serving us, and we appreciate you. So, Brother CJ, if there's anything else you would like to share to your Ezion Fair family, this is your opportunity to share with them.
I just miss you guys, and I can't wait till we can start fellowship back in the house of God again.
Amen. Amen. And we miss you. And
All
we
right.
miss you. We miss you. We miss you. So we thank God for Brother CJ, he and his wife, and they both are very, very faithful members here. And I wanted to make sure that we continue to show our love to our members. If by some chance your company needs a professional cleaner to clean, sanitize, please make sure you show your support to Brother CJ. He's one of ours. He's not a Johnny-come-lately. He's been around and he does a phenomenal job. We'll be right back. And we're back. Well, many of you who are watching right now know exactly who we have on the stage today. Sister Cynthia Shareef, who is one of our stellar members. I always have an adjective for all of our members, but she's one of our stellar members who have been very, very supportive. As a matter of fact, just this week, she sponsored one of our roles, which she don't like to really, share all the things that she does behind the scenes, but she's been the force behind the scene for a very, very long time. So Sister Shareef, tell me a little bit about you.
Okay, where do we start? I guess I'll give you an abbreviated thing about me. I've been a member of this church for 40 years. I got baptized in 1980. I'm a single mother. I got 2 amazing kids God has blessed me with. One's in medical school and I'm proud. And the other is in his junior year at Wilmington University. I've been in real estate this is almost my 20th year. It's really hard for me to believe that. Real estate is my passion and it's my ministry. I got a great family, loving friends, great family, and life is good.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. You said you've been in real estate for 20 years. Some of the things that you have accomplished. That's why I asked you to come on, because oftentimes people don't look at as a realtor as being your own business.
Right.
But if you're lazy, you get nothing. But you have to really be out there and do what you do in order to be successful. And I've watched even the home I live in now.
Right.
You sold me that home.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I never will forget when we went to see it. I said, I don't think I can get this one. Rosa would not even like it. You said, come on, let's just make sure. Let's look and put the stars there. And she ended up finding that being the one that she really, really wanted. So you are amazing for what you do.
Thank you.
Tell me, you said it's your passion, it's your ministry. Why do you consider it to be your ministry?
I consider it to be my ministry. First of all, if you want to be successful in any business, you got to be passionate about it. And it can't always be about the money, because there's a saying that when you enjoy what you do, the money will come. It's my passion because, I love people and I like to see them get into homes. I grew up in a family where, first, I got to give praise to my mother, who's now 85. Wow. And she always said that if you work hard, you can have anything that you want. Always held on to that. And my dad, at 17, he taught me the value of tithing. So when I say it's my passion and it's my ministry, because sometimes I think that I'm just here to sell a house. But then it turns out that you don't even need to sell a house. You just need to introduce this person to God. So whenever I'm with clients coming from out of state or even clients locally, it always seems like there's an opportunity where I can witness and say, hey, where do you go to church? Do you go to church? And it's amazing that sometimes you just know. And I don't know if it's the voice of God, but I kind of think that Christians are like magnets. You connect to other people. So I have to make sure, I'm committed to take advantage of those opportunities. And I firmly believe that if you do what God tells you to do, he takes care of the rest.
Yeah,
so it's my ministry. And all the people that have come to this church, just because I'm like, hey, do you have a church? And they love it.
I was just getting ready to say that. I was
They
just getting
love
ready to
it.
say that there are many people. I'm thinking of some of the families who have come, and I asked them, how did you find Ezion Fair? My realtor. And I said, well, who is your realtor? And they say Cynthia.
Yes.
And it's really amazing. Some of our members who have really are doing some great things even now in the ministry. So we really appreciate that. And it is a very strong ministry of yours. Sister Shareef, you talked about, we interviewed your amazing daughter, and you have an amazing son as well. And we recognize that being single with 2 children in college, how are you well, I'm trying to lead you towards that tithing piece, but how do you make it?
It's a faith walk. Okay. Let your faith be bigger than your fear.
Yeah.
And because I believe in tithing so strongly, and it's like I always tell people that if you don't tithe, you block your own blessings. Yeah. And people ask me all the time, I don't claim to have all this major success, but God has certainly sustained me very well. But I'm like, I tithe, and when I start to share that with them, because if you give him that little 10%, you know, he gonna give you the 90. And because I believed in it for so long, and it's always been the thing that's got me to where I needed to be. And even in the midst of this COVID-19, like everybody thought we were gonna just lose everything. I have been so blessed that God has sustained me, paid every one of my bills up until this point, and then blessed me more than I even sometimes think I deserved. Amen. So I just give him all the praise, honor, glory. And I think the most important thing is that you stay humble. And even with my children, if I can teach them anything, it's humility. Yeah. Because what Michelle Obama said, sex doesn't define you, it reveals you. Yeah. And I'm constantly reminded about that. I hope I answered your question too, because I forgot what it was.
That's all right, but you answered my question and you added, and that's a very good thing. That's a very good thing. I shared with the team here. I said once Cynthia Shareef comes on, I know she's going to fill up the rest of our hour. So let's just sit back and get ready for it, because she's an amazing woman, and you are. You said it earlier about mom, and you know, every time I think about your mother's 85 years old. Man, she looks better than you. I mean, I don't want to be
No, you're right.
But she looks phenomenal. Right. Still driving, living in her own home.
Right.
She's amazing.
Right.
How many children did she raise?
My mother raised 5 kids, and she is amazing, and she does look better than me. Plus, she takes no medicine. I'm on blood pressure for what, 40 years, and she takes no medicine. So.
Yeah, but she can make a mean chocolate cake.
Anything.
Oh. Man, she can bake, period, anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, matter of fact, you're going to have to help me with that, because I'm going to do something with my mother's shortly. Okay. And she's one of the ones I'm going to have to come in, and she's going to say she's nervous and scared, but you're going to have to bring her and just sit on the couch and have a cup of coffee with Pastor Curry. But yeah, you have an amazing family. I mean, your whole family is here. I mean, your sister, both of your sisters are here. Your brother is here. So we are very, very appreciative for the family. Let me turn a little bit, and let's talk about how, well, you kind of answered it, but how are you doing with the COVID with your sales?
Right now, Pastor Curry, it's tough, meaning that we're in what's called a seller's market. Seller's market basically means that inventory is very low. We don't have enough houses to sell. Yet we have all of these buyers because interest rates are also very low, which is causing the prices to go really, really crazy. So it's a tough market. I've never seen anything like it in my 20 years of selling real estate, but I still got to give God the glory because He has provided. So I'm good. It's harder because now I have one client and I got to show them 20 houses and they're there, but they sell very quick. Like last week, I think I wrote like 4 offers and only got 1 of them accepted. So it's trying. But the amazing thing about it is some of my clients, like normally I can get them a house in 30 days. Now it might be taking me 3 months. But at the end of the day, the house that we ultimately ends up getting, it was better than all the rest. Okay. And I think God is kind of sending me a hint, like, because I do get discouraged because I'm not perfect. But, you know, every now and then he'll tug at me and say, I got you. Mm-hmm. And he'll do things like that, like have me be in this house that we finally got, not to backtrack. My buyer got a $10,000 in settlement help. That's crazy in this market. Wow. So, because everybody's writing everything full price, above price, just nuts, but got 10,000 settlement help. And I reminded them, and it's also helping them to realize that God is in control. Because like my mom always says, and everybody always tells me, what's for you will not pass you by. And those little things, little nuggets I have to use to encourage my clients. Mm-hmm.
And yourself sometimes.
And always myself. Yeah. It starts with me.
Yeah. What inspired you 20 years ago to go into this field? But first, one of the things that we didn't do, and I love your spirit, Sister Shareef, but we didn't talk about the woman in the making, because people don't know you're HBCU graduate. You're from Morgan State University.
Morgan State.
Telecommunications
major.
So recapitulate that and just share with us, you know, a little bit about you, your education and your background.
Okay, graduated from Morgan State University. Go Morgan, HBCU, 1981. 1980, I was Miss Black Delaware. Oh. I don't know if you even knew that.
I did not know that.
That's
a new revelation. Okay.
Yeah, I just been blessed. I actually, I started out after I graduated from college. I had worked at General Motors every summer on the assembly line, but it was a great experience. When I graduated, I didn't have a job right away. So they said, come on back, you can work. They put me in their management training program. I got to be a supervisor. I did that for like 4 years, took the buyout. got married, moved to New Jersey. My whole life changed. I left my family, which was one of the hardest things I had to do. I had a child, came back home, had another child. Even in the midst of that, like at this church, just growing up, it was like always great. I was an usher. I'm trying to think of what else I did. I never sang in the choir because that's not my gift. And I don't want to get up there and lip sync because something might slip out and then everybody, so that's just not my gift. But
And you quick for telling me and others it's not your gift, so stick with your gift.
Right. So, but I can bake. So, you know, I used to do a lot of baking for this church and fundraising. I love fundraising. I love raising money.
Yeah, and matter of fact, I love you keep talking, but I want to just jump in every so often.
Right.
We celebrated our 100th church anniversary, and your committee raised the most because with those children, I think how much? Do you remember? How much
we raised $32,000.
I'm telling, it was amazing when they announced how much money they raised for that one event.
Yeah.
That's a blessing.
And I was shocked.
Yeah.
But to God be the glory, because we had an awesome team of folks for the Prince and Princess contest, and just the camaraderie, the opportunity you get to know people better that you didn't know because you just see them on Sunday, hi and bye. So that's always a great experience. And even when I do the announcements, like I do the announcements here, I don't know if people know I have a better voice when I'm in the dark. No, just kidding. But even
help our Lord.
Help me, Jesus. Help me, Jesus. He got me. But just doing the announcements, it just always makes me feel good. I think you gotta be connected. Okay. You gotta be connected or you're unconnected. It's as simple as that. So what I do like about you is that you do give us permission to do what we want to do, as long as it's, you know, in decent and in order, and you let us run with it. So you get to see talents that you didn't even know you had, and you get the opportunity to help other people to reveal their talents and to share and build that camaraderie. I mean, it's nothing like it.
Yeah, and there's one more thing I wanted to talk about, because you know I am a Delta gent who love himself some Deltas.
Oh yeah, I'm a Delta.
And you didn't talk about that part at all.
I'm a Delta girl for life, and when you're a Delta girl, you don't have to talk about it because you just be about it. It kind of goes unsaid, but since you brought it up, yes, I've been a Delta. I think I celebrated my 25th anniversary about 5 years ago. I can't keep count because the years are going by so fast, but I'm still active, financial, belong to the Wilmington Alumni chapter in Delaware, and we do some amazing things. We were just ready to have we had a great Christmas party here, and we were just getting ready to celebrate part of our Founders Day here. Right. Had everything planned, paid for. Pastor Curry was being so generous, and then that daggone COVID-19 just canceled everything, but hopefully we'll get to do it again.
Yes, it was amazing. Matter of fact, it was the Sunday was supposed to come, and then that's when we closed everything down.
We were all coming.
Yeah, but everything was wonderful. Sister Shareef, I really want to thank you so much for spending this time with us.
Thank you.
It is my heart always to try to keep our church connected.
Yes.
To keep those who are out in the cyber world connected to Ezion Fair, and because we have some amazing people here.
We do.
And most people will look at being a realtor as being just somebody who sells houses, but you really connected it well by saying it's your ministry, but it's also it's your business.
It's my business,
and you do a phenomenal job at it. And I knew that whenever people come into town or people call me and say I'm looking for a house, I immediately say, you got to call Sister Shareef.
Thank you.
And they're like, who is Sister Shareef?
Thank you.
It's not that she's one of my members, but she even sold me a house. So, and even sold one of my houses too. I think, did you sell the house? Or did you?
I referred it because it was in PA. I sold your existing, the first house you were in when you bought your new house. So
right. Okay.
Both.
So you did do the one here in Delaware too.
Yes.
And but it became so strong to know that you're going to take care of people. And then there are times when people don't want to buy a house, which we're not going to talk too much about because we believe in ownership. Right. But there are people who they were coming and transferring in, and they needed to rent a property, and you were able to even help them with that. So you kind of like do whatever you can to help people. And I think as long as you do that, you're always going to be blessed.
Yeah, and we can't forget about this building.
Oh yeah. Not only this building, but Yeah, she's been on the behind the scenes making so much happen for Ezion Fair. She shared that she's been with us for 40 years. I haven't been here that long, but she's always been in the background, making sure that things continue to be pushed. Never want to be in public to be seen, but behind there making everything happen. From this building that we're in currently, our wholeness center that we just built, and even the building that we're trying to sell now, which is at 1230 French Street. She's the person who's behind that, making sure that that gets done appropriate. And please don't start calling saying, "Oh, we're interested," unless you got some finances.
Right, proof of funds. So if you got proof of funds, dial Sister up.
Sister Shareef, tell us, how can people communicate with you? Share with us.
Very easily. My cell phone, which is 302-420-8091. And, Pastor Curry said some people aren't ready to buy. And I just want to say, for those who aren't ready to buy, let's talk so we can get you ready. Because even at a young age, I understood the value of home ownership, your anchor, your legacy. And I believe with all of my heart that everybody should own a home. It's the only thing you can get a tax deduction, and you can bring a lot of glory to your family. So call me, 302-420-8091. That's a commercial.
Yes.
I can't remember that.
As a matter of fact, we may have to clip it and give it to you.
Yeah.
But what about your email? Could you give us your email as well?
Yes, my email is my last name. It's spelled S as in Sam, H as in Harry, A as in Apple, REEF as in Frank, Cynthia @yahoo.com. And feel free to share my information with anyone.
Do you have a website or anything else?
No, I don't. Well, they have the Keller Williams website, but I never really set that up because 95% of my business comes from referrals, and I kind of like that.
Well, that speaks to you.
Yeah,
because
I
when 95% of your business is from referrals, then that means you're doing a phenomenal job in doing what you do. This is Shareef. It was a joy having you with us today, and I just want you to I want you to be able to get the opportunity to share with your Ezion Fair family anything you so desire to share with them at this time.
Okay, my Ezion Fair family, as most of you know, whenever you see me, even if you don't know who I am, I just want to be loving. I'm sincere in my heart. I care about everybody, and I am here to serve. And, I can't create miracles because I'm not a miracle worker, but I'm connected to one. So if ever I can help any of my Ezion Fair family members, because that's near and dear to my heart, because home comes first, call me at 302-420-8091.
Thank you so very much. And
Thank
again,
you, Pastor Curry.
You're welcome. And again, we'll be right back. It has been an amazing morning. We've had an opportunity to sit and talk with some amazing members of the Ezion Fair Baptist Church. People are always asking me, Pastor Curry, every time I turn around, it's one of your members serving me, whether it be in the hospitality industry, whether it be in the realtor industry. It doesn't matter. They're owning their own business. We have people who own car washes. We have people who own their own service companies. It is just so much talent here, and my whole goal has been and will always be to allow people to move and operate as God has allowed them. We are grateful to God to have all of them. This morning we had Sister Renee. We truly appreciate her. She is very committed and devoted to her husband. They have built a wonderful business together and doing several different things. And like she said, she likes to do so many different things and operate in so many different ways. But she is an amazing woman, and we appreciate her getting past her nerves and being able to sit down with me and talk to you about her business. And then we have Brother Charles. He is very quiet, doesn't say much, but that is a powerful brother who has done some phenomenal things in his life and is still doing phenomenal things. I was just grateful to God that he was able to share how he and his wife connected. And even after they connected, then they decided to go and get engaged. And when they returned, their mom and dad were a couple. That is just so precious. And when I was doing the homegoing celebration of mom, that's when I discovered that mom and dad were really the mom and dad of the two members of Ezion Fair. As a matter of fact, mom and dad also became members of Ezion Fair. So it's just amazing. And in doing all of this, they kept their business strong and they do very well. And then we ended our time with Sister Cynthia Shareef. She's just a part of our heart. She does so much for Ezion Fair. And she made a comment that I want to recapitulate and remind all of us that we must give back to God what God requires. Oftentimes, I remember when I was younger and when I used to give, $25 in the offering because my job, was very little. But as I went to college and I began to graduate and making more and more money, my tithing was looking bigger and bigger. And I was saying, oh man, I'm giving too much. But when I slacked, that's when God started holding back. Many of the things I've been able to accomplish, as she indicated, many of the things that she's been able to accomplish is because we believe in our first fruits being given to God. Don't let anybody fool you. You honor God and God will honor you. The Bible teaches us to seek first the kingdom of God and all of his righteousness, and he shall add everything else to you. Just look at the life of the man that is telling you to tithe. I am a tither. She is a tither. Our church, we were able to build as a matter of fact, 3 major buildings, because 1230 French Street we built that church before I came on the scene. Then when I came on the scene, we came over here at 1400 B Street. We built this building. This was almost a $4 million, I think it was a $3.4 million project. We owe under $1 million on this property. Also, we built the Wholeness Center, $5 million project. We are only $2 million still owed right there. And you may be saying, Pastor, why are you sharing that? Because we didn't get any grants. We didn't ask the government for anything other than for the dirty land that we're on. And I want to thank Governor Markell, who did support us in helping to clean the land. But other than that, it was the tithing, the offerings, the selling of chicken dinners of our saints who believed in the vision. What is my word to you? You honor God and God will honor you. You seek the Lord and he'll take care of your business. My daughter, a straight A+ student, as busy as I am, I still take time with her, but God is rewarding me for what I've done for him. I want you to seek the Lord. So today has been a phenomenal day. We had an opportunity, and please don't get it twisted. You saw some humble people sitting on this, and here we're having coffee with Dr. Curry. But these individuals are highly successful in their business. They're doing exceptionally well. Please don't think we found a few people, mom and pop in the store. No, these are 3 of our members who are doing exceptionally well. And I'm grateful to God that he has allowed me to pastor them. And I pray that you will not sit back and just be the second. Learn to take the Lord at his word and go ahead. Do your own business. Launch out there, but never allow yourself to be the second when God has made you the first. I enjoyed today's time together, and I hope you did as well. Until the next time we get together, God bless you. Real good. This is Pastor Curry, pastor of the Ezion Fair Baptist Church, Wilmington's most exciting church, the church that love ya and ain't a thing you can do about it. Listen, I know some of you are saying, I've not been to church, I've not had an opportunity given all that is going on with COVID-19. But listen, we are having our outdoor services and the Lord is blessing tremendously. I urge you to come be a part of our 9 a.m. and our 11:30 a.m. service. But just in case you missed last week, look at what you missed. God bless you.
Today, just for a few moments, I want to talk to you from this thought. It's not right, but it's okay. Come on, look at somebody real quickly and say, neighbor, it's not right, but it's okay. Can you look at somebody else and say, it's not right, but it's okay. In 1999, the great musical genius Whitney Houston released a title hit called It's Not Right, but It's Okay. It was a song that told the story of a cheating husband now being discovered by a hurting wife. The lyrics go something like this. I know you church people don't know this, so let me read it to you. It said, Friday night, you and your boys went out to eat. They hung out, but you came home around 3. If 6 of y'all went out, then 4 of you were really cheap. Cause only 2 of you had dinner. I found the receipts. It's not right, but it's okay. I'm gonna make it anyway. Pack your bags up and leave. Don't you dare come running back to me. It's not right, but it's okay. I'm gonna make it anyway. Cause close the door behind you. Leave your key. I'd rather be alone than to be unhappy. While reflecting on the lyrics of that song, it occurred to me, my brothers and sisters, that this hurting wife isn't the only person in the world to have been done wrong by somebody they loved. Can I get a witness out there? In fact, my brothers and sisters, the story of our text parallels her anguished dilemma because Joseph was just a kid who had a dream about his destiny, but it was scandalized by those who he loved, and that's the challenge that's before us today. It's learning how to operate in destiny while waiting for your destiny. And as we trail the tapestry of Joseph's life, his experience piqued my intellectual curiosity with some intriguing questions. Questions such as, is God a God who maintains the status quo? The testimony of Scripture reports that God's allegiance is only to his will, and therefore God will sometimes permit the status quo to be upset and upended in order to effectively execute his will. Joseph's dream is a great example of a disruption in the status quo, because to have the younger to rise above the older and the weaker to ascend above the stronger is counterintuitive, countercultural, and non-traditional. And yet it's important for us to note today that periodically God will upset the status quo to put forth an alternative vision of what can be, should be, and will be as a result of his power and his might. In other words, sometimes God will put us through a circumstance that is counterintuitive to normal expectations in order to bless our lives and dismantle the enemy's plans. Do I have a witness out there? Joseph's expectation and his experiences also introduces another question. Can the will of God be frustrated and denied? While it may sometimes appear that it can, the resurrection of Jesus Christ gives us the correct understanding that ultimately the will of God will have the last say. Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery because their will was to diminish, deny, and disseminate his dream and from ever becoming a reality. And as a result of their efforts, Joseph was enslaved, dislocated, sexually harassed, imprisoned, incarcerated, and forgotten. And yet, in each instance, God kept using what was designed to destroy him to develop him. I'm going somewhere. And that was supposed, those things that was supposed to eliminate him, it was used to elevate him, because the will of God will ultimately be done in all things. And finally, Joseph's experiences provides advice on, somebody need to listen carefully here, it provides advice on how to handle the people who have done you wrong. Joseph ends up in a fortunate spot where he had to face those who had abused, misused, and mistreated him, with the ultimate question remaining: how would he treat those who mistreated him? Because common wisdom indicates that every dog has its day, and what goes around comes around. And there's also a theological spin to that: whatsoever a person sow, that so shall they reap. And that's why we ought to treat everybody right, because God can fix it so that the people we look over today will be the exact same people we'll have to look to tomorrow. Do I have a witness in here? The text reports that Joseph's dream had his brothers bowing down to him, but Joseph couldn't see what his brothers would do to him first. Stay with me, somebody, because every dream lacks details, and yet it's in the details where our faith comes in. It's in the details where our character is constructed. It's in the details where we learn to rely on God and not just simply acknowledge who God is. Joseph couldn't see what his brothers would do to him before the fulfillment of his dream, nor could he see what he would do to them after the fulfillment of his dream. Yes, there were actions that brought against him that was causing him some anguish and some grief. But here's the good news of the story: if God gave you the dream, the actions of people against it are only temporary. Oh, somebody ought to get excited right there. If God gave you the dream, I don't care what other people do or say, it's only temporary. Do I have a witness in here? People may slow it, but they can't stop it. Do I have a witness in here? Their actions brought him anguish and temporarily turned his dream into a nightmare. But the tables turned. Now he had the power, the authority, and the control to exact vengeance on his brothers. And the pregnant query was, would he make his brothers pay for all that they did to him? Because it wasn't right, Brother Chairman, how they mistreated and attacked him. It wasn't right how they lied about him. It wasn't right how they schemed against him. It wasn't right how they plot and plan to destroy him. Matter of fact, can I just take a moment and help somebody? This message is relevant for every last one of us today, because many of us have been done wrong by people we trust. Come on, high five in your car your neighbor and say, I know that's right. Yeah, we've been done wrong by people who we've trust. It was hurtful, unjustifiable, upsetting, and unkind. And because it was never resolved or rectified, it became the basis for the enemy to construct a stronghold of anger, frustration, bitter in our hearts. It was so much of a hole that anger drove our attitude. Dislike and resentment became cause for our distance, and we stopped talking to them and start talking about them. And the danger of any dislike is it intensifies our attitude, dignity, want to be around them, but God is sending a word to you today. You can't let what they did get in the way of what God is trying to do in your life. Don't you let what they've done cause you to miss out on what God is about to do. Joseph did not know exactly how things were going to turn out, but Joseph did know one thing, that all things are working together for my good. Do I have a witness in here? God sends a word to somebody in here and out here today to say to you, it's time for you to heal. It's time for you to heal. You holding on to stuff that people said, you're holding on to stuff that people done, and it's messing up what God has for your life. God sends you a word today, and the word is, it's time to heal. Look at somebody and say, it's time to heal. So now, here is the question. Why was the wrong against you okay for you? Come on, help me say, why was the wrong against you okay for you? First, because God made their actions against you work for you. Did you hear what I just said? God made their actions against you work for you. Look at verse 19. Verse 19 says, don't be afraid. Am I God? What you meant for evil, God meant it for good. Joseph looked at his brothers knowing that they had done him wrong and what they had done had failed. Did you catch what I just said? He looks at his brothers and know what they did was wrong, but yet he recognized it all failed. So they were afraid of him because they thought that Joseph's mind was evil and dirty just like theirs. But here's the lesson for all of us today. You have to reserve the right to interpret your own life's experiences. In other words, you have to reserve the right to interpret the meaning of what's happening in your life. Stop letting other people dictate your meanings. You have to reserve the right to dictate it for yourself. You may not be able to choose what happened, where it happened, or how it happened, but you do get to choose what it means after it happens. Joseph didn't get to choose being thrown into a pit or sold into slavery, but looking back on his life, he did get to choose what those experiences really meant. That's why he could say, you meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. It was Joseph, and if Joseph had followed the metrics of their meaning, he would have been forever trapped and tormented by the thoughts of deprivation, anger, betrayal, and bitterness. He would have been consumed with the thoughts of revenge and payback. But their meaning wasn't the only meaning available to Joseph. He had matured even though he had to go through what he went through. He matured enough to know that God had taken what they did against him and began to work it for him. My brothers and my sisters, if you are in a place right now where you feel like you are alone and you feel like what they did is causing you some trepidation, what you gonna have to do is let it go, because they're blocking what God is trying to bless you with. You don't have to be bitter another day over what somebody else did or what somebody else is doing, because despite what they have or is doing, your future doesn't reside with them, it resides with him. They meant evil, but God meant good. They meant to kill you, but God meant to keep you. They meant to shatter you, but God meant to sustain you. They meant to erase you, but God meant to elevate you. They meant to penalize you, but God meant to promote you. They meant Joseph's focus was on what God meant. He didn't have time to be bitter. So in essence, he said, it's right. It wasn't right, but it's okay. Because while they were plotting, God was planning. And what they meant for humiliation, God used it for exaltation. And when you think about God's hand on your life, it should empower you to move from bitter to being blessed. It should move you from being sorrowful to feeling satisfied. It should make you rehearse how good God is. And I wonder today if there anybody in here who can help me to understand that God knows what he's doing. God knows how to fix it. God knows how to turn it. Don't you let what they did cause you to lose out on what God has for your life. I don't know who I'm talking to, but Joseph sent me today to tell somebody